Well, this has been a very unusual year is how I would characterize it. Coming into this crop year, we were looking at good moisture conditions before the crop was planted back in early 2010, particularly in Texas. Expectations of over half the crop being planted in Texas. So everybody was thinking we were going to have a large crop and an increase in acreage across the country. So you put all that together with good yield prospects and an increased acreage, people were looking for a rebound in cotton production. And talking about a larger crop, we were tending to forecast that we'd see the typical effect of harvest time price pressure. That's what most everybody was forecasting and looking forward to. But the other unusual thing that's happened this year is that very late in the year, beginning in July, we've seen a rather unprecedented price rally. We have, since from July till now, in mid-September, we've seen a 20-cent increase in cotton futures. Part of it has been speculative driven. We can tell that by the levels of speculative buying that are measured by the government, by the exchanges. And evidently they're doing that in a number of commodities, but cotton seems to be a kind of a special selection for speculative buying. But unlike a couple of years ago in 2008, there's some fundamental underpinnings to this too. We've had pretty tight stocks in most cotton producing and using countries. And then we had an issue in Pakistan, which is one of the larger cotton using countries and a large producer. They had very serious floods there in their agricultural region, and they've lost at least 2.5 million bales. So a big chunk of world supplies that we thought were going to be there weren't. And there have been other unconfirmed fears or concerns about perhaps too much rain in China or perhaps too dry in India during the critical times of their crop growing season. That remains to be seen, but there's been a lot of questions about supply, world supplies. Not so much in Texas or the United States. Our supply situation looks pretty good as forecasted. But this tight supply situation worldwide and evidently a robust, recovering, growing demand for raw cotton fiber and for yarn has led to an extremely tight forecasted stock situation. And when you combine all of that, the speculative buying and the tight fundamentals, we've had this rally up to rather unprecedented levels. We have December cotton futures in New York trading right now today over 95 cents a pound. We have cash prices to Texas growers somewhere 8 to 10. They've followed futures prices up, which is also a good thing and different from 2008. I've heard quotes, cash quotes, in the high 80-cent range. So growers stand to benefit from this if they are harvesting a number of bales, a good strong crop, and they haven't already priced it, then they're going to have the opportunity late in the season, which is very unusual, to see some very high harvest time prices. So it's an unusual situation, but it's a good one for growers with cotton, and overall it's a good one for the Texas economy.